I can't believe that Maria sang. Wait, do you have a bit? You clearly have a bit.
Don't.
Go.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Bro's gonna sing opera.
No, I was just thinking that Eli, you should start singing opera like right now. Like instead of doing your bit, I think you should just start singing an opera song.
La, 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 la. And blah, blah. Thank you.
Can you do the intro in opera? Like you were listening to Deep Cut.
I'm Wilson Lai, and I am Benjamin Yap.
I'm
And I will always be licensed.
I'm Wilson Lai.
I am Benjamin Yap.
And I'm Eli Sands. And you're listening to Deep Cut.
On Deep Cut, we compare a director's most popular film with a personal favorite chosen by one of us.
We also discuss that director's life and career to bring in context that helps us view their movies as they may want us to.
If you're enjoying the show, please rate and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts to help others discover the show. Better still, you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts or comment on our episodes directly on Spotify. You can also keep up with us on Instagram and Letterboxd at Deep Cut Pod, and also join our Discord to chat with us directly. We also have a Patreon if you'd like to support us. You can find links to all these via the link in the description or go to deepcutpod.com.
Welcome to another Deep Cut Upkeep episode on Pablo Larrain's latest feature film, Maria. If you are looking for our long and storied history with Pablo Larrain, you can check out episode 29, where we covered Jackie, which we really loved. Episode 30, which we covered Emma, which we also enjoyed a lot. And then head over to 36.
Except me.
Oh, except for Ben, who did not like Emma. And then you can head over to 36, where we watch Spencer, and we all hated this movie. I think this was like very clear to me, thinking back on the show. This was like the one episode where we were all like agreed on hating a single film, maybe outside of The Snowman. But poor Larrain. And in today's episode, we're going to see if he continues this losing streak or if there's a redemptive quality to Maria. So Maria, set in 1970s Paris, Maria covers the final week of legendary opera singer Maria Callas' life. We go through different days as she starts losing her mind and losing her grasp on reality, as well as trying to, I guess, maintain or reattain her singing powers. Should I call it powers? It is a power. It's like a superpower of hers, her singing ability.
I don't know.
Okay, before we get into a spoiler-filled discussion on the film, let's start with general reactions. I think I'll go first because I paid to see this movie 2 times in theaters.
Why did you do that?
What?
Because I knew we were going to cover it for the show, and I know that I am much more attentive to movies when I watch it in the theater. So I'm like, might as well pay the money and give this movie my full attention 2 times. And I will say it is better on a rewatch, but that doesn't make this great. I think it's still like okay to good. I think there's a lot of redeeming qualities to this, including Angelina Jolie's performance, which I think is a career highlight for her, despite how messy this film is. And I also think Ed Lockman does a fantastic job with the cinematography. Like, I think single-handedly or double-handedly, they both carry this movie. I think a lot of our issues with Spencer carry over to this film. I feel like this film the plot is kind of all over the place. There's not really motivations for Maria's character that are like clear to us. And I just found it to be really boring in a lot of sections. like, I'm not a fan of Maria Callas. I don't know Maria Callas. So I think the want to get to know more about her, or like the need to just understand more, is so lacking here. And Lorraine and Stephen Knight, who wrote the script, doesn't give us a reason to like care about her for people who don't know her. So I think that is already a big issue. And I just found myself, I don't know, checking my watch, waiting for the film to end. Like waiting for this woman to die, basically.
Jesus.
Yeah.
She's already dead. It feels like the kind of movie that is not. It feels like the kind of movie that is. It feels like the kind of movie that is lesser than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craft-wise, there's a lot good going on. Like, people can act. It looks good. Scenes are well done despite whatever the content is. Like, it looks fine. But it comes down to what is the grand vision for the project, and it seems like there isn't a grand vision for the story here. It's just that conveniently this fits within Lorraine's oeuvre, and it's kind of like a fun callback because Maria is also a partner of the same man that Jackie is at the end of his life, which is like weirdly convenient for Larrain to build his career around. But otherwise, it comes down to, why should I care about Maria Callas if I don't know anything about her? And I am fundamentally a fan of a essentially musical biopic that's not actually that interested in the music, but I don't think it really does anything with that. So similarly, I felt very bored watching this because there was nothing to grab onto. Like, what am I following? Like, even this romance with Onassis, like, has nothing. But yeah, that's me. What about you, Eli?
I like her glasses.
Okay.
They're really cool. The thick glasses that Angelina Jolie wears.
Scratching the bottom of the barrel here.
This movie is kind of like, what if the most annoying person ever died?
Wow. You know what? That, I think, oversells the movie a little bit. Like, that's actually kind of interesting.
Why is she the most annoying person? What is she doing that makes her the most annoying person ever?
She has a quip in response to every line of dialogue, no matter how mundane. And it's quip in place of actual substantial characterization. It's montage in place of characterization. It's a lot of telling you to care without, again, to echo you, Wilson, incentivizing that care or establishing depth. When we talk about the worst tendencies of Spencer carrying over here, to me, that is gawking at a real person who allegedly struggled with some sort of mental illness and watching them careen out of control.
Mm.
In retrospect, it lessens my impression of Jackie that this is the trilogy around which Lorraine is staking his name. It makes it about him rather than the person he's ostensibly focusing on. And boo, Stephen Knight, get out of here. 2 bad scripts. I haven't seen Serenity. I do want to see Serenity.
He didn't write Jackie, right? Who wrote Jackie?
I want to say Noah Oppenheimer. Let me double check.
Oppenheimer? The guy that made the bomb?
The bomb?
I think no relation. Noah Oppenheimer, yeah. Sorry, Noah Oppenheim. Noah Oppenheim, who wrote The Maze Runner.
Wow, what a script to go from The Maze Runner to Jackie.
He also wrote Allegiant.
Nice.
A sterling resume.
I basically, a week out from watching this movie, I feel bored and I'm thinking about how I only have one life in which to watch movies and this wasn't worth it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Deep Cut.
Cody Smith McPhee has the most unusual face I've ever seen. How about that?
That's a great takeaway.
The widest eyes.
Yeah.
The widest set apart eyes.
Okay. I think we should just jump into a deeper discussion of this that is, I guess, a little more spoiler filled, but you already know that she dies. So we really spoiled the ending. And
There's honestly
literally the first scene.
nothing to spoil in this film, I would say.
Spoiler implies substance.
yeah, you
Keep on listening. You're not going to watch this
please.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, you get to listen to this episode thanks to this movie. Don't watch the movie. Just listen to us shit on it. That's better, and it'll be shorter.
I know this isn't in the spirit of cinephilia, but man, this is a bad movie.
Okay. Let's start with saving graces. What do you think the best parts of this movie are?
Glasses. I really legitimately think those glasses are great.
Tell me more.
There's something to be said for a prop or a costume element that is a character signature that does set them apart for a reason that you can't really explain. If I'm being very charitable, I might talk about how it puts a window up between her and the people around her in the same way that she is often set apart from other people, either by mirrors or by the glass up in the booth of the man who is lighting her practice, or the camera, or the screen at Onassis's deathbed. But I think that's being a little too generous. I just think they are an interesting prop that says something about her weakness, the walls that she puts up, and also the kind of fortitude that she is trying to clothe herself in.
Great. I didn't think you would be able to answer that, so I'm very impressed.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. Ben, any saving graces?
I do think it looks good. Movie looks nice.
Yeah, it does.
The problem is, like, I can say that it looks nice from a very, like, surface level. Unfortunately, the thing is, even that is not really in service of anything. Like, that's just me saying it looks nice from a technical level. Like, that's me telling you gold is shiny. Like, yeah, it's shiny, but then so what? It's just a quality. It's not a good or bad quality. It's just a quality. It looks nice. I mean, there are some baffling choices. Like, sometimes, like, when it cuts between the 4:3 and the 16:9 or the widescreen, like, I get why it cuts between them, but they're like a little distracting and strange and unnecessary, I guess.
It is sort of ties together. I think they did that in Spencer. No, they did not do that in Spencer. Like, they sort of like mixed different formats.
I mean, this one is because that's the camera crew, that's the hallucination, and then sometimes it's their POV. I get it. Well, you come back to Jackie, and Jackie has much more reason for a lot of the choices that it makes.
Yes.
I feel. I think it comes down to, or maybe before I talk about that, maybe what are your saving graces, Wilson?
Like I said, I really like the Jolie performance. I think she is able to keep the movie interesting enough to me for me to like just keep on watching her perform. So I'm glad. And I feel like she's just a very capable actress that hasn't graced our screens for a long time. So if what it took for her to like start acting again in theatrical pictures is Pablo Larrain calling her to make this movie with her in mind, then I'm happy that this film was made. She's a talented actress. She has a great presence on screen.
Agreed. And she really has been maligned in the press unfairly in the fallout of her divorce with Brad Pitt, who allegedly was abusive during their marriage. So for her to disappear during this time and come back with a performance where she very capably displays emotion, I do like the version of this narrative that imposes her star persona history onto the character of Maria Callas being made here, even though it ends pessimistically within that reading.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting comparison to compare Jolie herself with Maria Callas. And I think she brings a lot of personal baggage to this role that really works. Okay, now on to what we found.
Stuff.
Yeah.
That was fast.
Was lacking.
That was really fast.
Okay, I'm going to just start with the narrative, because I think that's the main thing that's lacking here. Like, what is a narrative?
Yeah.
And I think that's compared a little bit with both Spencer and Jackie, actually.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Because of the way that, if you look at these three films, this trilogy of 20th century iconic white women. That's what they call it on Wikipedia, like his trilogy of
20th century white women, iconic white women.
I added that.
Pablo Larrain's White Woman trilogy.
It's not untrue. But anyway, what do they have in common? Telling a story that's limited, telling a biopic that's limited in chronological scope, meaning that it happens within a small time frame, generally speaking, in its main frame narrative.
Yeah.
For Jackie, the days right after the assassination, as well as the journalist, which is another frame narrative. For Spencer, this weekend or whatever, when she's with the Queen and whoever else. And then with this one, the days leading up to Maria Callas' death. But if you look at the three of them, one of these has way more stakes than the others.
Yeah.
Even Callas' death, yeah, sure. Like, obviously, death is at stake, but it's not really a time of like interest. It's more like just the days before you die. And the Spencer one also similarly fraught, but not like so like what immediately interesting.
In the same way that effective melodrama does require the heroine to react to a specific, potentially traumatic circumstance, like some inciting incident. Jackie very clearly has that. Spencer and Maria do not. It's more generalized woe.
Yeah. But I think what I appreciate about Maria more than what Spencer does is that Maria can sort of act as like a reflection of the life that she has had before that. So it's sort of like we are tuned in to like this being like a full stop on this life that we're approaching towards. So everything's framed within that sort of way of looking at her life, or this 2-hour period that we spend in this film. Whereas with Spencer, it's hard to really like place this film within Diana's life and like where do we see her or what her motivations are. We're not really working towards something in that film. We're sort of confused when Spencer ends, like, oh, what was the point that Lorraine's trying to make about this film? Whereas I feel like there's a lot more finality to Maria that I appreciate more, which makes this a little bit more of an enjoyable watch or like a satisfying watch than Spencer was.
I get that in theory, but I think I don't feel it in practice. The idea that Spencer hinges on your emotional understanding of what this person is going to lose eventually versus Maria Callas is looking at what she has already lost, trying to regain it and failing. I don't necessarily feel that Larrain weaponizes that connection to a past or future loss in either case, really. It's too nebulous.
Yeah.
I mean, pop quiz. This movie has act breaks. Shots of a clapperboard, and it says like Act 1,
Right.
X.
Yeah.
I forget what the titles are. What are the acts? And what happens in them?
Can't answer that. I have no clue.
Yeah, so that's, I think, my biggest, what is the shape of this movie? Like, you have 3 distinct acts, but I can't tell you what is different about any of these acts.
Yeah.
Arbitrary dividing lines.
Arbitrary dividers, exactly. And so the story has 0 shape. It's just stuff in the first third, stuff in the second third, and stuff in the third third. And like, okay, bro, but what's happening? Here's a really, I don't know, I guess a random connection to another biopic. Did Aaron Sorkin do Steve Jobs?
Yeah, he did.
I think so.
That's really enjoyable.
I like that movie too.
That's an interesting biopic. Also 3 distinct acts, but also clearly 3 distinct periods in which something very monumental is happening in each of those sections.
And you're checking in on the beginning, middle, and end of different relationships in his life too.
Yes.
So I think that's something you can think about structurally when you think about biopics, right? Like how do you frame it? Like what is important? And also that's something that's a time-limited biopic. It's not trying to show you all of Steve Jobs' life. It's trying to show you 3 specific instances that suggests his life rather than
Yeah.
boil down the entirety of Maria Callas's trauma into the last 7 days of her life. Which, why do we need that?
Yeah. I think he just really worked himself into a hole when he initially announced that he was going to do this trilogy. Because when you sort of think about these 3 movies as a whole, there are like rules that they all have to abide by. But I think if he were to tackle like stories about these women and break those rules, like not have it take place over just a certain period of time, and like not have reporters or like that kind of framing device for all of these movies, it would sort of allow Lorraine and the screenwriters to be a little more playful with it. Like, I think it really limits them. They're not even thinking about like story anymore. They're just thinking about this woman, and they're also thinking about this period of time in her life and making an accurate depiction of that. And I think when they get too focused in on that, they sort of lose sight of like, okay, we need to tell like a compelling story here.
It's such a shame because those decisions, which wind up penning in Spencer and Maria, are formal decisions that were designed for the Jackie movie as a reflection of Jackie and her relationship to the public. It's like missing the point of what he pulled off so successfully in Jackie, that these specific formal choices echo what we want to say about this particular figure. Instead, he just copy pastes those formal choices onto Spencer and Maria, and it, lo and behold, doesn't work because they're different people.
Yeah. And if you think about Jackie, Jackie's formal choices, the journalist, the use of the media, like when she does that little White House tour,
The archival footage.
these are all devices so that you know that you don't know who she is.
Yeah.
Right? But here, like with both Maria and Spencer, we're supposedly getting the inner scoop on like who these girls are. And then using these same devices. But the whole point is you're not supposed to know them. So then the unknowability of the women in the latter two movies is more like a, we just don't know, but it's not doing anything to kind of give you that distance, or like, it's not thinking about how you're accessing them. It's giving you direct access through subjective stuff. Especially Maria. Maria has way more subjectivity compared to the other two movies.
Spencer does too. It has those like flights of fancy and hallucinations, which is morally fishy to depict that kind of thing anyway, with any type of authority saying this woman had visual hallucinations. But it's also just hubristic as an artist to think that you can know a real person that well and have that authority.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there seems to be a fundamental misunderstanding from Stephen Knight coming on the heels of what's happening in Jackie. Is just aping the style of it without really thinking about what it's trying to achieve, which is confounding.
It's a wasted opportunity.
What do y'all think about the little director insert here?
What, do you mean the Mandrax stuff?
The Mandrax stuff, I think of that as a Larrain insert.
I think it's like, it's part of her sort of reclaiming or trying to reclaim a former glory, because I think the way that she acts in the interview, she like puts on an act in this interview, and at the end of the film, I think she reaches a kind of mutual understanding with Mandrax, the drug that she takes that turns into a human reporter.
For context, if you're not watching the movie, which is fine, she starts getting interviewed by a TV crew, and turns out the TV crew is actually a hallucination because she's taking too many of these, I don't know what drugs.
As I'm praising the glasses, some of the worst prop design is that bottle that she has of the Mandrax. It's like a fake, too modern looking label that just says Mandrax, no real information. It doesn't look like a medicine bottle label in the slightest. They should have just written in Sharpie, Mandrax.
Yeah, I think because it's a hallucination, it's subjectivity, but then that TV guy has so much of a perspective that doesn't make sense, that it feels like that director insert, like he's commenting on her rather than it is an extension of herself, is the feeling. When he goes like, I love you, it's like, why? What does that mean? My hallucination loves me? Like, what does that mean?
We just talked about unnecessary cursing in movies in our Mickey 17 episode, but the part where he goes up to her and is like, this is the part of the movie where you effing sing. So effing sing, Maria, is so obnoxious.
Do this every episode. You do a reenactment of a scene with swearing, and you don't
Eli's
say the swear word.
Against swearing. Like every episode, it's just him. Anti-swear word soapbox.
We got the youth tuning in.
No, we
Gotta
don't.
protect their ears. Yeah, no,
Yep.
we don't.
If you are a youth, though,
Don't see Maria.
It's not
I don't
worth
think
your
allowed to.
time. Let's spend a bit of time talking about the other characters, right? I think you have like the household help. So dear Alba Rohrwacher as Maria's maid, Bruna, and Pier Francesco Favino as her butler, Ferruccio. And they are sort of her support system as she reaches her final days. And I think that's a very sweet relationship that I see between the three of them. I think one of the good scenes in this movie, you can push back on this, but one of the scenes that I really enjoyed was this final like card playing scene that the three of them have together. And Maria's sort of being like, oh, see, she says like, oh, when I leave, I want you two to stick together because you guys are good people and like good people should stick together. And that really like, that was a very sweet moment. I really liked that moment in the film. There's like more scenes of that.
Yeah, because it actually puts a different shade on their dynamic as a trio than just the monotony of she tells them what to do. Actually, she's still telling them what to do. She's saying, stay together after I die. So never mind.
Move my piano here. But like, even if they're being told what to do, they still love her. Like you can tell that from their actions in the film. It was just an interesting relationship. And I think it was more fascinating than whatever we're exploring between Maria and Onassis, which I thought was like so... Like, come on, we got to get Jackie in. That's going to be the only redeeming factor if Onassis is here. Like, I need to see.
I thought we were getting a Portman cameo, but
That
no.
would have been incredible. I'm like, no, don't leave when he's about to die. You should stay. And then, like, you and Jackie can mourn him together as he dies, as Onassis dies.
I don't think the budget can afford a Jolie and Portman.
A Portman and Portman? Importing Portman?
It would have been fucking interesting. Because actually, think about it. Like, that's the most interesting part of the fucking relationship. Like, man's in love with Maria, marries Jackie, Maria's still hanging around. I was looking up the Wikipedia. I was like, what the fuck is up with this dude? Like, what's going on here?
Well, of course, the only explanation they give for that is in dialogue. And I forget even who says it, but it's not something you see in the actual dynamic between the two. It's explained by a third party to a fourth party.
When she says she loves him, I'm like, you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the flashbacks are too brief, and there is a version of the movie that just takes place over the 7 days without the flashbacks. And then there's a version of the movie that like sort of recounts the big moments in her life that lead up to her death. And I think if you're seeking either of those movies, there's not enough in this movie to give you the satisfaction of that. I think they could have more clearly picked a lane rather than trying to do like a umbrella, like let's catch them all kind of film, which also happens with the opening montage where you like cover so much time in her life and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like very important stuff that they just never come back to. And like it's like very emotionally like devastating moments in her life. Like she's like burning her clothes, she's like going crazy because she like can't sing anymore. I'm like, this is like very prime like real estate for mining emotional material for your movie, and you're just not going back to it. You're just breezing it over.
I think that's a terrible opening to a movie because there's a 5-minute musical montage. I was like, why? Why are we starting with the musical montage?
All I got from that montage is she was famous once.
And she has like really nice like collarbones. Like that's very, very, that's what
That's
I
the
took
point
from
of the
it.
montage.
Yes.
I mean, to bring up some references, you guys watch a new Thomas Flight video about musical biopics, which this is a musical biopic.
I didn't, but I saw that it had.
He basically makes this argument that the reason why musical biopics have what he calls a fatal flaw is that because they have to give you music, a 2-hour movie ends up becoming a 90-minute movie because you need 30 minutes of music. And in 90 minutes, it's very difficult to tell one person's life story. Here, you start the music, which is important, but then there's no context to it. It's like doing a Beatles biopic and you start off with the performance on the rooftop and you're like, why we start here? This is the end of the journey, not the start of the journey, right? And maybe it could work, but I'm just thinking that It's just giving you something with no context. Unless you already know Maria, but even then it's like, yeah, I already know she's famous. What is the point of this movie? And also, as you were saying, Wilson, like the flashbacks become a cheat that they wanted it to be a time capsule movie, but it's not, became a biopic about her whole life movie, which is like, wait, the whole point of the time capsule is that you don't have to tell the whole story, but here you are flashing back to when she's a child, which is also made redundant because she does have that conversation with her older sister in the present, which covers similar ground. And it's like, you didn't have to do the black and white flashback either.
Yeah. It didn't add to it. And I think the material with the sister in real time of the film is actually stronger than what that flashback. And it didn't really need it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think there are pieces of a good movie in there. Like, I think if there was like a editing session or like a really rethinking of what specifically the goals of the movie are and like laying that out very clearly, I think this could have been a good movie.
Okay, think about your pitch, but like, this is my pitch. Okay. Assuming that we think this Onassis fucking romance is interesting, which I don't know if it is, but let's say it is. Just 1, 2, or 3 of the parties with Onassis, Maria's at the party. That's it.
3 parties.
No flashbacks,
like
nothing.
that.
Just her at the parties talking to random people, and you're like, you're famous. And everyone's trying to get an autograph, and she's like, fuck off.
Yeah. Okay, I have a pitch. This trip to Tokyo where she gives her last performance and she like goes crazy and goes to the hospital and her skin's like all boiled up. That sounds like a very interesting moment in her life. And we could have just like, because a lot of people say she like died the day that her voice died or whatever. Like they were like, who are you without your voice? So like, why don't we just go to that exact moment where she lost her voice? That's my pitch of the Maria biopic.
I mean, that makes way more sense than her actual death.
Thanks, man. Oh, maybe we should make this movie. Just call Angelina Jolie.
It's like, Jolie, let's do it again.
Maria 2.
It's not Maria 2, it's Maria Remake 2026.
Marie Ducks.
We're taking a page out of Andrew's book. We're going to remake a movie.
Yeah.
Reimagined by a bunch of idiots of a podcast.
Eli, do you have a Maria pitch?
Yeah. It's written by anyone other than Stephen Knight.
What if it was like, I don't know, Mr. Beast?
Oh no. That might be a step down. Maria written by Mr. Beast is...
That should be your pitch. Not anyone other than Stephen Knight, but specifically Mr. Beast, Maria.
It's the Maria games.
We're going to get a Mr. Beast biopic someday from Pablo Larrain.
Yeah.
Make it a quadrilogy.
Maybe we should think about closing this out with a power ranking and talking about, is Larrain still worthy of being a deep cut director? Like, should we continue to keep up with Pablo Larrain? Okay, let's start with power rankings first. Do people have their... I'm going to pull up my Pablo Larrain list.
There's nothing to do here. For me, it's just Jackie and then the rest of them. I'm done.
They're all the same level. They're all the same rank.
Emma is so not on the level of Spencer and Maria.
Are you kidding me?
No way.
No, I don't even think I don't think about Emma at all.
Okay, Don Draper.
Bro, that's a ballsy movie with a character that actually like has a drive and is like crazy. Like, how are you putting that on the same level as Spencer?
It's just, I don't care. Like, it's not worth my time ranking them.
No. Okay. I'm gonna rank them. Number 1, Jackie, obviously. Number 2, very close to Jackie, Emma, and then Maria, and then poor Spencer at the bottom.
Wait, did you say Emma was above?
Jackie, Emma, Maria, and then Spencer.
Same for me. Yeah, that's pretty much the same. On a certain day, Emma could slightly edge out Jackie, baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
But right now, yeah.
On to, I guess, the more pressing question. what is up with this man's career, and should we still continue to? Well, I think we've amassed a large amount of directors that we can start cutting directors. If we...
The thing is, it was never about making a deep cut director canon. It was about making a deep cut film canon.
So, okay, yes. We also missed El Conde.
Maybe that one was good. Was that a vampire movie?
Yeah.
I heard it was so-so. Yeah, it's about Pinochet.
Yeah, but whatever. It's okay. Maybe he'll come out swinging with like a really good one in a few years.
So if he makes a good one, then we'll cover it. But if he doesn't make a good one, we're not going to cover it anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, okay.
we make the rules.
The thing is, you know what? I still appreciate his stylistic choices. I think like the way that he chooses to shoot his scenes and edit some of them are interesting. There are moments here that I'm like enjoying myself. Like that final sequence where she's singing. I was like, wow, this is like a well put together scene.
I don't even remember the final sequence of Maria, truly.
The windows are open, she's singing, and then the maid and the butler are downstairs and the whole crowd like stops to listen to her sing, and then she dies.
That's not the final scene. The final scene is they're all looking at her dead body.
Okay. Like, I mean, the final scene where she's alive.
Like, this is emblematic of another one of the film's problems, which is like, individually, some scenes are well done, but then there's an overall thing is like, why do you put all this other crap in?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's really funny when they think she's dead the first time, or like they're trying to wake her up and she's not answering. And I was like, oh, good, the movie's about to end. And then she answers, and I was like,
Oh, fuck.
I don't know. I feel like it always comes down to like the greater vision. Like they're just not there. But whatever. It's fine. Maybe we'll cover it. Maybe we won't. Mansell will have a career because, I don't know, he's anointed. He's done.
He unfortunately has diluted his reputation in my eyes to the point where I wonder if he just accidentally, Jackie and Emma are great, but I think there's enough there to both of them that I'm willing to say that under certain circumstances and maybe earlier in his career, he had the juice.
I mean, at the end of the day, if it's just even Spencer and Maria, like as much as we are ragging on them, they're like perfectly marketable star vehicles that at least I think make back their budgets. And I mean, film's a business and like they work for that.
Yeah. And it's still like within that mid-budget range film that is still lacking these days.
And people like some people like these movies. Like, we're not the authority on this, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I also have seen Neruda from him.
Which I also didn't like. I thought Naruto was boring.
I thought it's bad.
Bro's hit rate's kind of weak here.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad we got Jackie and Emma out of the way first. So we like start this series off like praising Larrain, and then now it's sort of like devolved into this.
All downhill from here.
This is the value of this, is that the deep cut is Jackie. Because like if you've not heard of Jackie, you should go watch Jackie.
No, the deep cut is Emma, right? Then the popular pick was Jackie.
For me anyway, the deep cut is Jackie. Because like if you learn about Larrain through Spencer and Maria, then you can go back to the deep cut. You see what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah. So what we're saying is you should be watching Jackie, and you also should be watching Emma.
Yeah.
Good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Deep Cut. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating because that helps others discover the show. A great way to support us is to leave a review for our show on Apple Podcasts or comment directly on our episodes on Spotify. Be sure to subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts so you'll know when our next episode drops. You can keep up with Deep Cut on Instagram, Facebook, and Letterboxd at Deep Cut Pod, and on TikTok at deepcutpod_film. Ben has been working very hard on those reels. You can join us to talk about movies on our Discord server. We also have a Patreon. If you want to support us, we would deeply appreciate it. Click the link in our description or go to deepcutpod.com to find our Patreon, Discord, and all the other socials we've mentioned here. Special thank you to our Patreon Deep Cut Pick supporter, Leah Lai. We could not make the show happen without you. Deep Cut is hosted and produced by us, Wilson Lai, Benjamin Yap, and Eli Sands. Our cover art is designed by Justina Yam, and our theme song is composed by me.
I'm Wilson.
I'm Ben.
I'm Eli. Take care, and we're looking forward to talking about more movies with you Next time.
Next time.
This is the part of the podcast where you effing sing. So effing sing.